So what you're going to see here is an overview of how to do our project Clone Yourself. So I'm going to start here with a video really that starts in my basement that walks you through exactly how to go through the process, including how to set up your iPad and where to set it up. So as soon as it starts, you're going to see me having set it up on a cabinet, so that it will get a general area of things. So for instance, in mine, I can see this whole area of my basement. So I'm going to be in different poses around that area. Then by using your iPad, you take that picture, and then on Adobe Mix, I'm going to show you how to actually cut. So first things first, you want to take out your iPad, obviously, and set up your camera app so that it shows an area around the room. Obviously, this is backwards. There we go. Okay, so my area here is my couch, kind of our TV setup in our basement. So I need to get into a place where you can take, we're gonna say 4 or 5 different poses of me that we're gonna then cut out. So with each one, what I wanna do is not be on video. I need to be in photo here, which is good. And then make sure my composition's good. I've showed you in that first part of this video how to set it up. And then we're gonna, up here on the timer, do 10 seconds total time. And the key thing is you gotta keep this really still. You might have even noticed there that mine started rocking. So I'm gonna put a couple more things behind it because the frame has to be exactly the same. And anytime you tap your iPad, you don't want it kind of rotating or anything like that. So I'm gonna say 10 seconds. That'll give me time to sit down and think of a pose. And then I'm gonna hit the take a picture, and I'm gonna get a little timer. There we go, 10 seconds. And there's my first picture. I do it again. Make sure, again, your iPad doesn't move at all. There we go, 10 seconds. Boom. And let's do one more here. There we go. So now that I have my pictures, what I need to do is go into this app called Photoshop Mix. So you're gonna need to download Photoshop Mix from the App Store. It's free. You'll probably have to log in with your Jesuit ID. And when you click on it, it should open up like you're seeing here. Don't send that crash report. And you can see my last project, that's the one you're gonna see where I'm in my shop and I was trying to illustrate me in many different kind of looks there. It crashed, so it might not be working quite right. I actually deleted one of these layers. This one I deleted. And the cool thing is this is really like what we've learned with Photoshop using layers. And so the concept shouldn't be too tough for you to figure out. So what I need to do is, now that I have my pictures, dismiss that. I'm gonna go to this plus on the left, click the plus, go to images and recents. And I have these 3 images. So I'm gonna go yes to that one. There we go. And then over on the right, you see this little plus and layers. So think of layers exactly as we learned them in Photoshop. Add another plus, add an image, add that layer, add a plus image, and what was the last one here? This one, I think, right? Nope, I did that backwards. So that's where it gets a little confusing, but it's okay. You just hold it down, and we'll do that in a second. Image, and then the most recent one was this one. Okay, perfect. Those are my 3 pictures. So now I have a duplicate here, so I'm just going to delete this one by holding it down, tapping it and pushing delete. Okay, so now I have to blend these, and it's really easy to do. All I have to do is tap on the first layer. At the bottom here, I can adjust it. I can make it look pretty. I'd really recommend you take that time to do it, but in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you the real nuts and bolts. And what I'm looking at here is cut out. And in cut out, basically, just like we learned in class with real Photoshop, you're just highlighting an area. You can lasso it. You'll remember that tool. You can use a shape to add to it. You can use basic. This is the one I tend to use. Or you can try to do smart or auto. I'm just going to do basic here with a brush. And what I want to do is right now you'll notice it is opaque in the background. Remember we learned that in class so long ago. And so I need to select what I want. The cool thing is if you took a picture and you didn't move the camera at all of the lines from the background are going to be the same. So you don't have to be perfectly precise unless your character runs into another character. And that'll make sense in a second here. So all I'm doing is notice I'm on this plus brush up here, not the eraser, the plus brush. And I'm just highlighting the stuff that would be different from the pictures. So one of the things that'll be different is I'm holding these pillows in here. And I'm looking, I don't know, grumpy or something. Good acting. I push space, and notice now, there I am, and there I am. So now I go to the next picture down, and on this one, I can see that it's just the picture of me here in the corner. And again, same thing, cut out, zoom in, select me. Looking good. And again, you don't have to be perfect because as long as you didn't move the camera, nothing's going to move. Nothing's affected because the whole background's exactly the same. So I just need me basically, and I can get a little bit around me. That's okay. And then I say, okay. And there we go. There's the three me's hanging out in my basement. I can adjust this, of course. I could crop it. I could adjust. But I need to actually click off that layer. And I can crop it. Up in the top left, I have a little crop button. And I don't need all that ceiling. I don't need all of this. I can just do this. And that helps me see me better. Check. And then I could adjust also exposure and stuff like that if I want to. But notice you got to be a little bit careful because as you adjust the exposure, right, it might look different from those other ones. So notice here, whoa, that's crazy. Okay, so let's undo that. Up at the top, we have a little undo button. Top right, there's undo, redo, new layer. So notice though, I was just trying to zoom in there. And when I changed that exposure adjustment, notice the me in the middle here. I know you can't see my finger here. So the me in the middle, you'll notice there's like a haze around me. And that's because I adjusted that exposure, and that's problematic. So you got to be careful of that kind of stuff. You'll also notice that there's a little bit of a break in the couch behind the middle me because my arm obviously kind of dented the couch in that image. So what I can do is, let's check that. That's good to crop it. What I can do is go to that layer, this one, and let's go back to cutout. And I need to be more precise with this. So instead of brush, I can go eraser, and I'm gonna just erase, and I'm gonna change my hardness. Gosh, remember all these fun tools? Apparently if I click on hardness and drag my finger up, it'll increase the hardness. And I'm gonna, ooh, that's maybe too hard. Let's decrease this. I'm going to just get right up to my arm here. I want this to be a lot more specific. So this is how you can make sure it's just what you want. Again, zooming in with and zooming out with just two fingers. And again, I can kind of erase all of this. Perfect. Okay, very good. Check. And now notice that looks a lot better. The couch behind me isn't pinched like it was before. So this is your project. I hope you have some fun with this. You can make a whole room full of U's, which is kind of enjoyable, I hope. You could do this in so many varieties of ways. You could obviously do it in like your backyard with you doing a whole bunch of stuff. You could do it in the house. You could, you know, scare your mom with the many clones of you. But I hope you have fun with it. This is kind of a neat little tool, I think. And there's obviously a lot more we can do with this. And we're going to play with this one a little bit more going forward because it's kind of like a free version of some Photoshop that makes it pretty easy to use.